An album a day is my exploration into the Korean music scene. This podcast will cover mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provide both factual and opinionated commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own.
You're tuned into an album a day. Show start.
Well, good morning. I sound better than yesterday. Talking about this group. 100% yesterday had me kind of whatever that may mean, because it was the first album that we had that I felt was suitable enough to be able to call a 4. And then we make our way over to today's album, which is called Sunshine. Now, Sunshine was released in 2018, so this is exceptionally recent. And you would hope, with the track record that they have, that exceptionally recent would also mean recent in production style. So it was released September 3rd, 2018. It has 7 tracks on it, with the 7th being an instrumental. This was released both in the Korean and Japanese markets. So you have the first track, which is Sunshine. Heart is 2nd. Grand Blue is 3. Turn Away is 4. Because of You, 5. And then 6, So What, with 7 being the instrumental. Heart. Heart was the lead single from this track. Yeah, let's just, before I get to the ranking, let's just go ahead and acknowledge the support by the efforts of my McGualas, the most amazing fan base a little scatterbrain such as myself could ever have. And of course, special shout out to my Patreon patrons, the student body, and the scholars who keep my vision of becoming your favorite Korean music historian, exploring all the industry from A to Z, a real thing. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this podcast and supporting my content, please visit patreon.com/multifacetedacg. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help support getting a much better laptop camera or webcam, because yesterday, as I promised this week, I did do a video on the Great Moments YouTube channel, which is associated with this podcast, and it was the most grainy, redonkulously bad thing we've ever seen, which totally makes me feel like I won't be able to do any live broadcasting for that channel. It'll have to just be pre-recorded videos for a while. So many little technical things. All right, this ranking. You know, at some point I'm gonna actually have to provide a breakdown of how I came up with this ranking, because moments like this, artists like this, are going to put me in a space of conflict. So K-pop fans, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being essential listening and 1 not worth mentioning, the A3 day rating, on this album, Sunshine, is a 4. So they've had a back-to-back 4 moment. Please clap your hands for them. I didn't think this would ever happen. This gets a 4 because Sunshine, although I genuinely cannot, and I just got finished listening to it, no lie, you all know the deal. I listened to the song, the whole album from start to finish 2 times. I was humming along with one of the songs, but don't ask me which one it was. They're not memorable. They're just not. However, what is memorable is the fact that this is an extremely cohesive album. From start to finish, it flows very well. There's not some random shift in the way that the direction of the album is going, where you've got things that are nice and ballad style, and all of a sudden it turns into underground hip hop vibes. No. They know their lane, and they stay in it. They stay snug in it, right down to vocal arrangements and everything. And I think that's what's driving me most crazy about them. There's nothing that's attempted that's out of the ordinary. Nothing at all. And I really so desperately, so deeply want them to stop trying to ad-lib on songs. I don't want it. I want them to put that in the trash, put the lid on it, roll it out to the curb, let it get picked up. Or for those of you who live in countries that do wonderful recycling and things of that sort, I want them to go ahead and divide it from the rest of the song. Put it in the appropriate bin. Take the bin out. Let it get picked up for recycling somewhere else, far, far, far away, that doesn't have discographies attached to it. It's just not a strong suit for them. There's nothing that conveys in their singing. Now, let me clarify for you. An ad lib is not a run. It's not the same. They are not the same. Ad libs are things that are not actually a part of the lyrics of the song. You're just in a moment where you have something you want to accent and you're just in a zone. So you might be singing, let's just do ABCs for the heck of it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Come on. Like, those are ad libs. They're inserted. They're not scripted. They're just what the vibe brings to it. In this day and age, if you're listening to this in 2019, a lot of things you'll hear from people when it's a moment of excitement is A-Y-E or A-Y-Y. So you'll hear A. Those are just occurring out of nowhere. They are not scripted. Whereas a run, that's not necessarily scripted either, but it can fill in the space on a song's musicality to give it more depth. It's one thing to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's another to go A, B. You know, those kind of things, those little fluctuations of the tone and intonation of a note, they can do that. They cannot ad-lib. I need them to stop. They just need not do it. But it doesn't prevent this from being a 4 in the least bit. It's a very nice sounding album. It's just not necessarily memorable in my mind. I genuinely can't. I don't know if I was humming along to Because of You or Turn Away. I was in the middle of making breakfast. Y'all know I make this during my eating time. So I really wasn't paying attention to which one of the songs they were. It was either track number 4 or track number 5. I like the simplicity of the lyrics. There's not some random English thrown in and around in this. When they said they are Korean pop act, they mean it. I haven't heard a speck of English anywhere, a speck of it at all on any of the tracks. So I just, it is what it is. It works. At the very least, I can just say that it works. This was, however, an album that might have had some more emotional pull on them, because it wasn't too long after its release. It wasn't too long before its release that their member Minwoo reportedly died from cardiac arrest at his home. He was 33 years old. He passed away on March 25th, 2018. Not too long after that passing, on April 2nd, the gentleman announced that they will resume their careers and their mini tour schedule that they had already announced before his passing. So I can't imagine that this was a very easy time for them whatsoever. They made a formal comeback July 26th, their first Korean comeback, and it had been well over a year. I'm thinking it was like a year and some change, a year and a half. And they did that with the digital single Grand Blue, which is included in this 5th mini album. And the title track, as I said, was Heart, but they came back with Grand Blue. So even in the midst of very genuine, utter turmoil, they still had a project put together and was ready to share with their audience and whatnot. And I remember reading the news and everything during that time when it happened. I had no idea who the group was. And I just knew it was sad. There's no denying that that's sad and quite frightening. So the album peaked number 6 on the Korean charts. They sold over 17,000 units for Sunshine. And I'm hopeful that the energy from this one moves itself right over into Retro. I've no idea what's on that album at all. Most of the time, I can look at the information online and be able to see like just a spill of the track listing, but there isn't one on their official Wikipedia for this. I do have the album in queue. I was going to try to squeeze it into this actual recording, but I think it would be inconsiderate to do so when this was the one that was released prior to Minwoo passing. And he was also an actor, so like a lot of people were more familiar with him than I personally am. He was their leader. He was a vocalist, and he did his military service March 2014. It was discharged 21 months later on December 4th. So I would appreciate it if we took a moment of silence in consideration for his time on this side of the living and for his fans who are listening to this. May peace be with his spirit, as well as those of you who are fans of this group and of him. And we will continue with the next episode focusing on their last album, Retro, as well as final thoughts. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.